African literary writers are entrepreneurs who dedicate their time to writing on political, economical, social, and technological issues in Africa. Their aims are to educate, entertain, inform, and have some rewards accrued to them. This is African Literature on the NTA, the largest television network in Africa. Nena Basi is my name, and you're warmly welcome. Once you learn to read, you'll be free forever. Our focus on this episode is on the poor reading culture in Africa. Reading is very important because if you read, you can learn anything about everything and everything about anything.
Africa at large.
Reading culture in Nigeria is very poor. Africa generally, reading culture is poor. We cannot leave it like that. So our own establishment is poised to ensure that we improve the reading culture in Nigeria. And over the years, we've been making a lot of efforts to ensure that people are aware of the importance of reading. There was this World Score Index on reading per hours in various countries all over the world. And that index did not feature Nigeria at all because we are not considered as a reading nation. But in that index, 2 African countries were featured, South Africa and Egypt. And that made us to feel strongly that maybe there's something we can do to improve on this. This establishment has been in existence for more than 50 years. And we've always been involved in reading culture. But when I assumed duty about 5 years ago, and this index, the result of that index came out, I felt we should be more aggressive. Before I came in, what we were doing was just symbolic. We chose 2 states in Nigeria and then try to promote reading. But since I came on board, we have been going around the whole country, that every state in Nigeria must be made aware to the importance of reading. And we've expanded it. In the past, we used to focus only on students, primary school students, secondary school students. But from research, we have been told that reading should start from the womb. So that if you start from the womb, then you can achieve some results. And because of that, we've embarked on going around hospitals around the country, targeting pregnant mothers, trying to let them read to their children, telling them that this has been proved in other parts of the world, where we've been told that there's a link between the unborn child and the mother. And what we have been told is that if a pregnant mother reads to his or her baby on a regular basis, that child is likely to imbibe reading culture. That's what has been proved in other countries. Also, through our visits to most parts of the country too, some mothers have agreed to that. With that, we say, let us extend this thing. We've gone around the whole country. We have gone to motor parks, because this is not something for only the elites. We've gone to motor parks, appealing to them that, to the drivers, conductors, passengers, the idea of reading. We have gone to prisons. We've gone to every prison in Nigeria, in every state of Nigeria, trying to encourage them, buying books for them. So we believe strongly that if these things gingered up, and finally for us, we have been so lucky, federal government has been so supportive. They give us a lot of budget every year to promote reading.
It sheds light on the importance of reading and strategies put in place to overcome poor reading culture in Nigeria.
To promote reading, there are 2 areas that must be well developed. 1, school libraries. 2, public libraries. Because when it comes to demands for parents, books are going to occupy maybe a lower demand because there are more important other things. So, but when you have good public libraries, good school libraries, people promote reading. But unfortunately, these 2 categories of libraries are not well developed in Nigeria. The government realized the importance of school libraries. In 1977, the government formulated a new national policy on education, which gave birth to 6334. We didn't used to have this in the past. Before 1977, we used to have 6 years of primary school, 5 years of secondary school, 2 years of higher school certificate, 3 years of university. But now they've said, let's have 6 years of primary school, 3 years junior secondary school, 3 years senior, and 4 years university. But in that same document, there was an item that says every school in Nigeria, whether primary or secondary school, must have a library. And not only that, a well-developed library manned by a qualified librarian. And education is not complete without having libraries. because it has been proved that students that are exposed to libraries perform better than those that depend only on their teachers.
He speaks on availability of library materials and collaboration with book clubs.
Of course, as a natural library, you cannot say we want to staff or we want to take books to all the public libraries, but we try to encourage them. About 3 years ago, we said, let us have a meeting of national librarians and all state librarians all over Nigeria. So we started a conference. I think we've had one here at Abuja, one in Bayelsa, one in Oka. We're planning to have another one in Ilorin, Kwara State. What we try to do at that forum is to say, develop your public libraries so we can attract children to those libraries and students. And if there are obstacles, let's know the obstacles so we can even contact the various governors and, of course, even our ministry here to ensure that governors promote public libraries. So through that, we get enough materials. So we are now saying, let's cooperate with the book clubs. The ones that we know that are very valuable, we supply books to them so that people in that location can also have access to more materials. Then, in this particular session we are planning, we also want to involve publishers, Nigerian Publishers Association, that when you print your books, give some to these book clubs, because it's a way of also advertising your books. Like, for example, as National Library of Nigeria, we are mandated to collect all books published in Nigeria. It's a law. Once you publish a book, you must deposit 3 copies with us. And we tell them, when you deposit with us, we buy. You can deposit 1 copy with us, we buy 30 copies. You deposit 3 copies, so with that, we try to publicize the authors. Their books are publicized. And one thing we do here is that every year, we publish what is called National Bibliography of Nigeria. In this document, all books that we have acquired, published by Nigerian authors every year, we list all the books, and we send the books. We send that list around the whole world, so that people can even see your book in Germany, in Canada, and through the ISBN, they will ask for it. So we are trying. So as a national library, we are really in the forefront of ensuring that people read.
On e-library, what is his opinion? However, he talks about e-library and physical library running side by side.
They are still relevant because not everybody has access. When you want to have e-library, you know there's certain infrastructure that you must have in place. You must have access to the internet, must have access to electricity, must have access to many things that will make you. But we also promote e-library. Ours is that just read, regardless of the medium, whether it is a physical book or it is e-book. When people complain that, oh, children of nowadays, they like iPad, iPhone, and so on and so forth, I said, no, I don't have any problem. It doesn't have to be book per se, but just read. It is the knowledge that is important. So the two will have to exist side by side because, I mean, a large number of our people don't have access to electricity and to internet. But that doesn't preclude them from. Last year, even when we were doing leadership promotion, we visited some rural areas. We targeted rural areas to let them know that the fact that you are located in a rural area doesn't mean that you be excluded from what is going on in the world. So the two will still have to go together hand in hand.
Partnering with individuals and corporate bodies in establishing libraries is a way forward.
We have some private individuals that are trying, that are starting libraries, and we try to encourage them. We have identified about 8 or 10 that have libraries, and we try to partner with them. And we're even encouraging communities. Start your own small library. Some of the members of the National Assembly, they've been establishing libraries through their constituency projects in some of these rural communities, and they will invite us because, according to the constituency, the relevant agency will supervise the project. So we've been involved. So some communities, some rural communities have libraries, but they are not enough. So but we are trying to let people know that this thing has to go around the whole country.
Indeed, We cannot give a greater gift to a child than the ability to read. Arts composition comes up next. Which literary instrument elevates the reader's experience and aids memory recitation? Well, our next segment will answer the question.
unforgettable pleasure. It brings the poem to life and helps the audience feel connected. Rhyme as a literary device elevates the reader's experience and understanding through its effect on the musical quality and impact of language.
Technology, the mother of all inventions, has influenced various aspects of human existence that in numerous difficulties has been brought to the barest level. Travel as a form of communication has been made simple through the invention of the motor car, which can travel 7 miles in a very short time. Due to various irregularities on the roads like potholes, careless driving, overspeeding, and a host of others, the chances of motor cars getting involved in accidents cannot be overlooked. As such, devices like the seatbelts and airbags have been made.
Basically, airbags are meant to serve as security for lives and property in our vehicles.
The motor car airbags are safety devices or features designed to protect passengers and drivers in a head-on collision. The question begging for an answer, therefore, is how many car buyers take time to check the cars for airbags when they are purchasing one?
Like we car dealers now, if we are going to buy a car, we're buying the one that has a airbag because people are going through what is raining.
About an airbag in a car, it's supposed to be a supplementary restraint system. It's supposed to be something that helps to assist during the time of an accident, but it only works well once you have a seatbelt across your chest, or else otherwise it can be a dangerous thing in a car.
Airbags act as a cushion for passengers, thus preventing them from hitting the steering column and dashboard, which may lead to head, shoulder, or even chest injuries. The importance of safety devices in a motor car cannot be overemphasized when purchasing a car. Therefore, it is advised to thoroughly check for those devices before purchasing a car.
I never get this kind of thing, or I hear it.
This year has been quite awful, but due to the pandemic, which we all know about.
During the pandemic, from the month of March down to October, we weren't paying a dime in the school.
I got to know about Survivor Fund on social media. When I got to know about it, I related it with our director, which he affirmed that we should apply.
I didn't take interest in it at first. I thought of government, all these forms that they are filling, no one is actually paying.
But
once the money came in, I was so happy.
It was about 30,000 for each teacher, and it went a long way for the teachers.
I want to thank the federal government for having us in mind concerning this survival fund initiative.
Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on the network service of the NTA. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in Abuja. I am Claire Adilabu Abdul Razak. Let's get started with the headlines.
Therefore, remain steadfast and see this war to a conclusive end.
President Buhari tasked Nigeria's defense and security agencies to end insurgency in the country. And Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says strong punishment awaits those involved in violence against children.
Biometric identification system will help in providing accurate information.
Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission set to end money laundering and corruption in the civil service. A very warm welcome to the news. And reports just in now says 7 victims of the federal government college Birnin abducted have been rescued. And they include 6 students and a teacher, but one of the students died unfortunately. Meanwhile, the military have cordoned off the entire forest. And President Muhammadu Buhari has directed Nigeria's defense and security agencies not to allow the nation's adversaries any breathing space to either challenge or undermine the interest and core values of the country in their sustained efforts at restoring lasting peace and stability across the country. Addressing troops of Operation Hardin Kai in Maiduguri, the president restated the unalloyed commitment of the federal government to winning the battle against terror and criminality. Our State House correspondent Demusambo has the details.
Your collective efforts have resulted in the relative peace being enjoyed in the region today.
President Muhammadu Buhari, however, says there is still a lot of work to be done to completely restore peace to the northeast, stem the activities of armed bandits in the northwest and north central, as well as deal with other security challenges across the country.
While acknowledging your collective efforts at decimating and degrading the terrorists and reaffirming the inviolable sovereignty of our nation, you must therefore remain steadfast and see this war to a conclusive end. I salute your courage and wish you the best as you continue to make Nigeria proud.
The nation, President Buhari says, will forever remain indebted to members of the defense and security sector for their patriotic commitment to defending Nigeria against insurgency and criminality. Their courage and gallantry, he believes, will continue to inspire others to be selfless and loyal to the nation as they echo into the future.
There is no room for complacency. As your Commander-in-Chief, I want to assure you that this government will continue to work towards the provision of timely funding and procurement of equipment for the armed forces and other security agencies. We hope the enemy will now feel the ferocity of our firepower and the
strategy and clear sense of direction to safeguard the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country. He says already large consignment of critical combat enablers, including high-caliber weapons, have been injected into the theater of operation, and many more that have just arrived the country would also be deployed. He says all those who have paid supreme sacrifice in ensuring that Nigeria remains an indivisible and secure entity will never be forgotten.
I want to assure you that this administration will spare no effort or resources to ensure that the widows and children of our fallen heroes who paid the supreme price in defense of our beloved country are well cared for.
This visit will surely boost the morale of the personnel and spur them to intensify their efforts in our ongoing counter-insurgency operations. I would like to assure Your Excellency of our continuous loyalty and dedication to the task of bringing insurgency to an end in the shortest possible time.
President Muhammadu Buhari later interacted with the wounded troops of Operation Hiding Kai, assuring them that the federal government will provide the best medical attention towards their full recovery. From Maiduguri, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, several landmark people-centered capital projects executed by the Zulum administration in Borno State have been inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari. They are part of the nearly 560 projects either initiated or constructed or completed in critical sectors of the economy. The president described the pragmatic execution of the projects as the best answer to the insurgents, that their decade-long efforts at disrupting and destroying critical infrastructure facilities in the area has come to naught. Our State House correspondent Adamo Sambo again reports.
It was a befitting show of solidarity, appreciation and support for President Muhammadu Buhari as he returns to Borno State for the third time in 2 years to appraise the security situation in the area and indeed the northeast. This is to enable his administration move full speed in its genuine efforts at concluding work of restoring permanent peace for sustainable development. But the Zulum administration didn't have to wait for the restoration of normalcy before making significant impact on the lives of the people. Out of the 560 projects executed in 2 years alone, some sited in communities hitherto no-go areas, nearly 10 have been inaugurated by the president during the visit. They include Borno State University, several technical, vocational and Islamia schools, healthcare center, road infrastructure, as well as part of the 10,000 resettlement homes he approved for the IDPs. Addressing the people of the state shortly after, President Muhammadu Buhari promised not to relent until the millions of internally displaced persons not only return and resettle in their homes, but also rebuild their shattered lives. He said decisive measures have been taken towards safeguarding IDPs and refugees, as well as engaging them in the task of rebuilding their communities.
This effort at alleviating the suffering of displaced communities will hamper the evil efforts of terrorists and insurgents to recruit fighters and spies from IDPs and other vulnerable populations through the use of paltry material incentives. In the light of the current improvement of security in the state, I have directed the NNPC to expedite the delivery of 50 megawatts power plant in order to ensure the prompt restoration of electricity to Maiduguri and its environment. I have also issued directives for the immediate resumption of oil and gas exploration activities in the Lake Chad Basin. This is part of our overall effort to restore the state back to normalcy.
The president, who recalled with sad feelings the killing of rice farmers in Zabarmari community, directed the military and other security agencies to work out modalities with the Borno state government on ways to improve access by farmers to their farms, forests and fishing grounds.
I will never forget in my life that during my career as a politician, Borno State is where I got the highest percentage of votes, more than 90%. The least I can do for you is to continue the relentless effort to fully restore peace to this state, the Northeast region, and the country as a whole.
Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State takes pride in the giant strides recorded by his administration in critical economic sectors despite the prevailing challenges of security, and commended the president for his unprecedented support.
This project was only possible because of relative peace that we have gained in the fight against Boko Haram from President Buhari's compassionate administration. President Muhammad Buhari is sincerely, genuinely, and fiercely committed to ending the Boko Haram scourge in this state. Thank you, Mr. President, for your love and compassion towards the people of Borno State.
One major takeaway from President Buhari's visit to Borno State is the reassurance to the people that with the renewed onslaught against terrorism and insurgency, success is in sight. From Maiduguri, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And in the same breath, the federal government has expressed formal appreciation to the Shehu of Borno and other members of the State Council of Traditional Rulers for the exemplary leadership, wisdom, and high sense of responsibility exhibited in the past decade when the area was ravaged by insurgency and terrorism. President Muhammadu Buhari made this known during a courtesy visit to the monarchs at the Shehu's Palace in Maiduguri. He said the fact that the royal fathers now operate from their domains is another evidence that peace has been restored to the communities, despite the challenges that remain to be overcome. He assured them, and indeed the people of the Northeast,
Really, my commitment to serve Nigerians is just to pay back the love Nigerians showed to me. And starting my political adventure from here, I always look forward to come to Borno. And I am very pleased that Borno State has been endowed with a very active governor. He's always on the move. And I have the occasion, personally, to warn him that please don't overexpose yourself. He's a young man, and the way he moves around, including visiting the very dangerous areas where the bandits are there. Very few Nigerian leaders at any level expose themselves to such dangers.
Both the governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, and the Shehu of Borno were full of gratitude to the president for his genuine commitment to the aspirations of their people.
We remain loyal and we remain committed to the cause of this your administration. Within the last few days, government and people of Borno State have started witnessing gradual return of peace to our domain. This is possible because of your commitment towards the cause of ending insurgency in the entire northeastern sub-region.
We sincerely appreciate and commend the effort of the federal government under your ever leadership towards rescuing us from this terror group whose action or ideology are contrary to any religious belief. We are highly indebted to you, Mr. President.
And at the National Economic Council held virtually, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo inaugurated the National Advisory Council of the Federal Road Safety Corps, involving ministries, agencies, and departments. Our correspondent, Gideon Ifadi, reports that members of the FRSC Advisory Council include the Vice President as Chairman, governors of Anambra, Delta, Lagos, Gombe, Kogi, and Kwara State, representing each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
Members of the Federal Road Safety Commission Advisory Council include Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as the chairman. Governors from each of the 6 geopolitical zones are on the list. The governors are that of Anambra, Delta, Lagos, Gombe, Kogi, and Kwara states. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, is equally on the list.
The Advisory Council will ensure the effective implementation of the strategy, which centers on the safe system approach to road safety based on global standards, and also the 5 pillars of the Nigerian road safety strategy.
There was a presentation from the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Social Development, and the topic of that was actually on the establishment and management of the assault referral centers. This has to do clearly with some of the challenges we are having in the country today when it comes to rape and the effect of rape on our own children.
Give the Council an update of the account balances as follows. 1, the excess credit account balance as at the 16th of June 2021 stood at $60,850,975.92, while the stabilization account as at the 16th of June 2021 stood at $24,802,716,416.22 kobo.
Reports from judicial panels set up to investigate police brutality are pouring in.
So very soon, a National Economic Council session will review those reports and point to a way forward. Also, the Council received a report from the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the NNPC on the issue of the terminated strategic alliance agreements with an idea of how to solve the problem and move forward.
The judicial panels were set up across the country after the EndSARS protest of 2020. In the State House, Jude Onifade, NT News.
Now, it will no longer be words alone, but matched with actions in dealing with those involved in violence against children. Those were the words of Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo as he gave at the National Policy Dialogue on Ending Violence Against Children, organized by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs in collaboration with international development partners.
For the Vice President, children remain a great asset for Nigeria and must be protected jealously. Attacking children is an attack on the soil of the nation, and government can't sit back when they are molested either at home or in school.
We acknowledge the need to improve on the implementation and enforcement of laws, promotion of a safe environment, and strengthening parental and caregiver support.
For the Minister of Women Affairs and Development Partners, pushing for an all-inclusive policy document containing rights of children at all levels is an antidote to ending violence against children.
We are partners moving in a trend towards ending violence against children in our world. This requires effective and efficient collaboration efforts among all key actors.
Let us try to see the voices of some of the girls who have been in this situation of abuse and exploitation. Let us remember Fatima, who's 13-year-old, who is also a mother of a 1-year-old boy.
We are here appealing to the federal government to provide a better intervention to curb this violence that is spreading at an alarming rate. Your Excellency, also a major topic is discussed and the resolution were made about promoting a qualitative way forward of a Nigerian child through quality education.
I should not be subjected to any physical, mental, or emotional sexual abuse. I should not be injured, maltreated, or neglected.
The event was rounded off in an entertaining note as the children displayed their dexterity in different areas. Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says it is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone found culpable in illicit financial activities in the country. Also emphasizing that contrary to what has been reported in some media, the Commission will not be deterred in the prosecution of such high-profile cases involving some prominent Nigerians. Now, Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdul Rashid Bawa, also says the Commission will be all out to put to an end money laundering, as well as end corruption in the civil service. Our State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Database, the development of the property ownership database with biometric identification system will help in providing accurate information on property ownership while including more individuals into the government, tax net. Yes, of course.
Determined and looks set to reposition the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is the chairman, Abdulrasheed Bawa, who is just 107 days in office as the EMS-man. During the time, he says the commission has embarked on a comprehensive restructuring and reform efforts aimed at improving operational effectiveness and have revealed the second hidden eye of the eagle are now bearing fruits.
We have recovered over 6 billion naira, over 161 million United States dollars. The rising increase of internet fraud. This is a huge problem that we have. Almost every other day we are arresting them. From January to the 10th of June 2021, we have arrested 1,502 internet fraudsters across the length and breadth of this country.
Bawa also speaks on other plans Nigerians should look out for from the commission.
That we want to digitalize our process, want to be transparent enough so that by pressing of a button, we should be able to tell you figures, facts, as well as any other thing that record that we are keeping, for the betterment of us and of course for accountability to Nigerians. Asset recovery. From one individual alone, we recover 84 properties. You understand? Hundreds of millions of dollars, left, right, center. You understand? And what is it? So we are working hard. The government have tried.
Abdulrasheed Bawa spoke at the special briefings organized by the Presidential Communication Team, headed by Femi Adesina, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 here on NTA News on the network service of the NTA. Let's take our first break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, the Nigeria Correctional Service is scaling up security across the 244 custodial centers in Nigeria to protect inmates and infrastructure. During an engagement with the House of Representatives Committee on Reformatory Institutions, the need to reduce overcrowding was also among issues of priority discussed. National Assembly correspondent Lamia Ali reports.
We are making efforts to acquire more arms and ammunition so as to protect our facilities. And this is a task that we must do.
Both the committee and management of the service during this oversight to the headquarters of the Nigeria Correctional Service in Abuja were of the view that, considering increased attacks on custodial centers, it has become necessary to take urgent preventive steps. The engagement provided opportunity to look at other challenges of the service vis-a-vis its performance viewed from the budgetary releases.
Most custodial centers are caught up by immunization, which does not give room for expansion and always from the external attack.
The non-custodial service is a major priority of the committee in the 2022 budget consideration, given its significance as provided in the Correctional Act 2019.
Members of the committee went round for an assessment of projects cited within the headquarters of the complex. In another development, The Thursday kidnap incident at the Federal Government College Yauri in Kebbi State has prompted calls from a House member on authorities to intervene.
We do hope that also this will necessitate us having a battalion stationed in the route of those bandits that is commonly known to everybody.
He said security operatives tried to repel the bandits who carried out the attack. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And troops of Operation Hadinkai in the northeast have arrested a Chadian kidnapper and leader of a syndicate operating in the zone. The acting director of Defense Media Operations, Brigadier General Bernard Dunyuko, announced this at a news conference in Abuja. Here is Defense correspondent Ismail Musa with the rest of the story.
Another periodic news conference by the Defense Headquarters to highlight ongoing efforts of the armed forces in the quest to secure life and property across the country. Today focuses on major kinetic and non-kinetic operations between 3rd and 16 June 2021.
Several terrorists were neutralized.
Aggressive land, air and maritime operations led to the elimination and arrest of several criminals, while different criminal camps destroyed.
Troops also held operations that arrested some terrorists and kidnappers, including a notorious kidnapping syndicate in the Northeast Zone, led by one Mohammed Maki, who is a Chadian. Troops also recovered large caches of ammunition.
To stem the wave of criminality in the Southeast, troops in conjunction with other security agencies have upscaled operations in the zone.
Troops raided hoodlums' hideouts and dislodged them. Troops also, on the heels of credible and actionable intelligence, same day, engaged and repelled some independent people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network hoodlums who attacked Osi Town in Ohozara local government area of Ebonyi State.
Similarly, in an extraordinary non-kinetic approach to the emerging security threats in the Southeast, the Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, led a federal government delegation comprising the Chief of Defense Staff, representatives of service chiefs, Minister of Interior and other stakeholders to a meeting where far-reaching decisions were reached. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And the next report on the DOC country's 9th technical meeting says that the meeting convenes twice a year to serve as a platform for declaration of cooperation, participants to discuss oil market development and exchange views on various technical matters related to the energy sector. The meeting focused on assessing crude oil demand and supply, market balance, the post-COVID-19 oil market situation, and impacts of DOC decisions on restoring balance and stability in the global oil market. Mohamed Sanusi Barkindo, OPEC Secretary General, stressed the importance of holding high-level as well as technical meetings with industry partners on a regular basis, noting that OPEC continues to support oil market stability through dialogue and cooperation in the interest of all industry stakeholders, including producers, consumers, and investors. Barkindo stated that the technical meeting provides OPEC member countries and non-OPEC countries participating in the DOC an opportunity to discuss technical issues and share data insights on issues facing the global oil market. Barkindo also commended the ongoing efforts carried out by the DOC participants to support oil market stability, stressing that joint efforts in rebalancing the market through voluntary production adjustments continue to be highly effective. He congratulates them and expresses appreciation to member countries for the ongoing support and dedication to the landmark Global Energy Cooperation. He also reiterates that through responsible and effective joint contributions, members gave the oil and gas industry a lifeline when it needed it the most. The technical meeting was established under the framework of the landmark DOC signed on December 10, 2016 in Vienna, Austria. And you're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Let's take another break. When we come back, we'll bring you more news.
Everything is architected and designed by the Almighty.
Someone who is a Christian is someone who lives a life of Jesus Christ. And the life of Jesus Christ is a life of sacrifice.
Yes.